everyone, welcome to another edition of Good Morning Pattaya, Pattaya Channel's very own breakfast show. I'm your host, Nick Pendrell, and joining me back again, it's Mr. Dave D. How you doing?
Good morning to you, Nick. Yeah, a little bit sunny out there this morning, but we made it, as they say.
We made it, yeah. Well, we're quite used to that in Pattaya, aren't we?
Nice to see you again, man.
Good to see you too. And also good to see our guest of the day, who is Jordan from the Royal Varuna Yacht Club. Welcome to Good Morning Pattaya.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Welcome, John.
It's a pleasure. Royal Varuna Yacht Club. For those people who've not heard of it, where is it and what is it?
Okay, so we're located pretty much the furthest place you can get out in the ocean in Pattaya.
Right.
So we're located on Pratamak Hill, not far from Crazy Beach.
Mm-hmm.
We're actually a very much unknown entity in Pattaya. Not many people know where we are, but we have a 10-rise site. We're the Centre for Sailing in Thailand.
Right.
And we do many sailing activities, but we do much more than sailing. So the diverse range of activities we have at the Royal Varuna Yacht Club is great. So it's very, very, very close to the heart of Pattaya. Mm-hmm. But it's almost like you don't know that you're in Pattaya. None of this hustle and bustle of the streets and the market stores and walking street. Although it's probably only 800 meters away from the real hustle and bustle. You really don't know you're that close.
When you say you got a lot of diverse up there and you do a lot of activities and that, I mean, what are some of the things that you do there?
Well, the one activity we do is sailing. So as mentioned, we're Centre for Sailing in Thailand. So we host many international events at the Royal Varuna Yacht Club, often having as many as hundreds of people coming to the Royal Varuna Yacht Club just to go sailing, because we have some of the best waters in the world,
right?
Just off adjacent to the Gulf of Thailand. But also we have much more than that. We have a truly iconic clubhouse, main veranda area. So we often have parties and we host over 1,000 people. So the site we have is massive. And it's an oasis of tranquility. It really is.
I heard I heard on the grapevine that, I mean, if I went to your place, I could actually sort of be taught.
Sure.
No, I know nothing about. I mean, I don't know about you. The only thing I've ever been in is a sailing dinghy, and that. So, I mean, if I came to you and I said, I want to learn how to sail, how to whatever, could you do that for me?
Yeah, sure, and many people do. We're actually respected and known worldwide, and certainly in the Asian area, to have very high standards and for the quality of tuition. So many people come to the Royal Varuna Yacht Club. We've got 5 full-time instructors and come just to learn sailing because the facilities we have are great. The quality of tuition is very good. And so we have mainly expats in Thailand wanting to learn sailing. We work with 10 different international schools amongst Thailand. So our relationship with 8 schools in Bangkok, all big international schools. And so the number of people we're training each year are getting towards the 1,000 mark.
And the age levels?
We start from 8 years old.
Wow. So
from the kids, grassroots sailing. So as mentioned, because we're the Centre for Sailing in Thailand, we go everything from the real grassroots level all the way up to the Thai national team, who often train at the Royal Varuna Yacht Club and who we support, all the way up to really as old as someone could be, because some of our regular sailors are more elderly.
Yeah.
So sailing is an activity that can be enjoyed by all.
Absolutely.
To me, it seems hellishly complicated, all that sales business. So how long does it take from somebody who's like Dave, who's maybe in a rowing boat or there, to being able to control and actually move in the direction that you want to move in?
It's actually rated as the most challenging sport in the world. Next to equestrian and Formula 1 racing. So it is a very challenging sport, but someone can be fairly independent under supervision within 2 days.
Wow.
So it doesn't actually take that long. And to be honest, there's no better feeling. In my opinion, it's the best sport in the world. Obviously, I'm very biased. But however, the feeling of being gliding along by the wind, you haven't got this horrible engine at the back of you, which is making this beastly noise, and you've just been gliding along by the wind. The only noise we have is a splashing against the water. And so for people to get that feeling, it only takes around 2 days with tuition at the Royal Varuna Yacht Club.
Right.
And like I say, because our quality is world renowned, we're actually now a accredited training centre worldwide. So people can come on the course and they can use that qualification anywhere else in the world.
How long would it take, when you say you can take an 8-year-old child and teach them to sail, I mean, at what stage would you say, you know, great, fantastic, you can get out there, you can do your thing on your own, you know, away you go, you sort of passed or whatever. I mean, what was kind of stage?
For a beginner's course for younger kids, because they do take a little bit longer to learn, usually takes 5 days. And that's starting off when they first learn to sail. It's a little bit like a lamb trying to take the first steps. So when they first learn, it's a little bit tender, and as they get better and better, they become independent, and then they're controlling this boat in the wind.
Yeah, sure.
And not to discredit the conditions we get at Pattaya, I'm not sure if you ever feel the wind that we often get at Pattaya is quite strong. So they can control the boat into that wind going pretty fast. An 8-year-old within 5 days. And by the end of it, they're feeling independent. So it's a great activity, getting the kids out in the outdoors. And like I say, with our relationships in the international schools and our sailing programs, we have many children who come for sailing tuition at the Royal Varuna Yacht Club.
Right.
And actually the one thing the parents are saying to me more and more, the reason why they want the child to learn sailing is because they cannot be any further away from their iPads.
Right, that's
because
true. That is
they're
true.
out in the water doing an adventurous activity that's active, that they're enjoying, that they're making friends, that's physical, that's challenging, that's technical, and they're in the great outdoors in Pattaya.
I mean, when I've seen these guys, Nick, that are in the races, I mean, you know, on the big boats, you know, there's probably, I don't know if I'm right in saying, there's probably, I don't know, 15 or 20 guys on a boat or something.
Yeah, you can have.
You know, I mean, that it's like conducting an orchestra.
Yeah, sure.
Surely.
Teamwork, very much so. So you have a wide range of boats. So you can have boats where you can have 15, you can have boats where you have 30 people.
Wow.
And they're all having to work together to make sure that boat is going along. And this is mainly in racing. And racing is when boats are sailing and competing against each other. And that's an exhilarating feeling that everybody has because they want to do well. Or you can have boats with one person each. So these kids that are going out, they're in the boat on their own. And they get given a boat from day one on their own that they're having to control. So it caters for all ages and all different challenges that one might want to have.
Amazing. So the kids are in the boats on their own, even from the beginning,
From the beginning. Day one, they're on their own. In small boats, they're called Optimist. And kids like that because kids have no fear. Adults, I'm sure when you step in the water, you think, oh, what happens if I fall in? That's the first thing they think. Those kids, they just jump on straight away and just get down to it. So and
Don't the parents freak out? The idea of putting an 8-year-old in a boat and going, there you go off into the wind.
You do have, yes, they do. But also they understand that our safety management systems are world class. So something that I've been employed to instill is make sure that activity is sailing, which is very adventurous. You can also class it as, if it's done the wrong way, it's dangerous.
Yeah, looks it.
Out in the water, particularly with the young children. And out in Pattaya, you get strong winds, big waves, and a ripping tide. You don't actually realise how far that current is.
So what is when you say the safety side of it? I mean, like if you're saying you put a child into a boat from day one on his own, what's the safety side of it? Is there somebody at the side in another boat, or is that what it is? Yeah.
Everything's done at a set ratio, a maximum ratio. All our instructors are internationally qualified, so there's a mixture between Thais and foreign instructors. They're all UK trained, and so the instructors are very experienced. So they would never put somebody in the wrong situation at the wrong time. But also we have the safety management systems in case if something does happen, we try and avoid it as much as we can. But if a kid does hit the head on a piece of the boat or anything like that, we also have the management systems in place.
Great.
So the parents are very happy, and that's why we're linked in with all these schools.
Yeah.
And school's number one item is to bring the kids back the way they came back to their parents. And so they're happy. I give them all the documentation and say our standards are all internationally accredited, and they're happy with that.
I don't know, Nick, I know a few parents sort of go, bye.
Run.
Keep going.
So how much would this cost if somebody had a kid and they wanted to go through the whole, you said 5 days for the smaller kids?
It's actually not that much for a kid to go on a 5-day course. It's around for a member of the Royal Varuna Yacht Club. It's 6,500 baht for 5 days. For a non-member, it's just over 10,000. So it's actually quite reasonable. So for all the modern equipment we have, the staff we have, the facility, like I say, the Royal Varuna Yacht Club is a very luxurious facility. There's nowhere else like it in Pattaya. All of that, and actually quite reasonable cost at the same time. And we don't just do tuition for children, it's for adults as well. So we have a whole adult program, so adults can come along, learn sailing for the first time, or have a refresher if they've done some sailing before, and all the way up to racing, our tuition.
I was going to come on to the racing bit. I mean, do you host events there?
Yeah, we host many international events. We're actually respected worldwide as a facility for racing. So so we have international championships that not necessarily Pattaya know of, but these are throughout the world. The media are coming to the Royal Varuna Yacht Club because we have professional sailors come, very top amateur sailors come, because they know that the Royal Varuna Yacht Club is one of the most respected and best venues for international championships. So we could have a couple of 100, 300 people sailing at one time just off Pattaya, or racing for championships, or battling out in the Gulf of Thailand. It's something, like I say, not many people know that we're there and what we actually do. But it's one of the big sides of the club is our international championships.
So is this your biggest event? What is the biggest event of the year? Does this happen one time a year, this big international get-together?
These are different classes, so it's the World Championships. So in sailing, there are many classes. However, the core classes are maybe only 10. We usually have one of those championships every year. And so people come to the Royal Varuna Yacht Club. You have some very famous sailors who are competing. So it happens regularly. We obviously have to bid for these events, and then we get them. Yeah, it happens regularly. But there's also club sailing as well. So our members come along sailing every weekend. We have racing activities going on 365 days a year.
Really? One thing I'd like to understand, and I'm playing a little bit dumb here, and that is when I see them on TV and they're racing and that, how do they know? Have they got like a paper before that says, this is the track? I mean, is it that kind of thing? I never know, Nick, you know? I mean, I see them racing and I think, you know, well, when do they know when to turn? When do they know where they're going, you know?
Sailing is, for sure, they have a course, and these people are not stupid, they're experienced sailors.
I'm sure they're not. It's me that's stupid.
And so they know what they're doing. But also, it's all about tactics. Which way you go, how you go about from A to B is dependent on the wind, dependent on the tide. So you're making it's tactics, strategy, all into one. So the number of little areas in sailing is very, very big. And to be a top sailor takes years of experience.
Sounds very complex.
But like I say, it doesn't take very long for one person to learn.
I would imagine it's very exciting.
But the speeds you can go on sailing. We have a competition who can get around Koh Larn the fastest. So from our base all the way around the island and back again. And there's boats that have been doing it in nearly 50 minutes.
Wow, that is fast.
And so a speedboat would struggle to get round at that time. So these boats are going up to 30 knots of speed. So this exhilaration. And like I say, you don't have this ghastly engine at the back. It's just silent. There's no better feeling out there.
I can see it. You've sold me. I really need to get out.
You must come.
I will definitely come. So remind us, because we're getting short on time, so remind us, where can we find the Royal Varuna Yacht Club?
The Royal Varuna Yacht Club is it's close to Cozy Beach. It's on Pratamak Road. The furthest you can get along the road until you reach the beach. So it's hard to describe because no one really knows. It's not far from Elegant, it's not far from Cozy Beach along that road. You can't miss it as you drive past.
And have you got a website?
Yes, www.varuna.org.
Varuna.org, that's a nice short one.
Yes.
And what about Facebook? Have you got a Facebook?
Yes, we've got a Facebook, the Royal Varuna Yacht Club.
All right, so there's plenty of ways for people to check out and get the full information about where you're coming. So thank you very much for coming and telling us all about sailing. Certainly seems like interesting.
We're also available to mop the decks.
Well, you're welcome to come and help at the Royal Varuna Yacht Club.
It's been great. Nice, Jordan. Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming, Jordan. Stay tuned, everybody, for part 2, because we're going to be back right after this very short break. See you then.